Okay. So total is 5686.08. So per unit, it's gonna take divided by 140. So that gives me 40.61. And they want to sell it for how much? $45. So that's fine. They'll still get a profit. But they gave you marketing cost is also there now. Marketing cost total 250. Okay, that also I'll have to take. Marketing 250. 42.4. They want to sell it for 45, so that's fine. Okay. So see, I did the question without using the formula y is equal to ax power b. Sir, why did you do like that? Because I know it's faster to do without using the formula. Because see, they are asking you for 160 units. They told you in the question, first batch of 10, second batch of 10, and after that, they are asking you to produce additional 140. So 10 plus 10 plus 140, total 160. 160 units can come within the doubling table. So I went with the doubling table directly. So first batch took 100 hours, and they told you 80% learning rate. So cumulative average per time per unit will be 80% of the previous cumulative average time. So for 16 batches, total time is 655. First two batches we know took 160 hours. So 655 minus 160 is 495.36. That is the time taken for 140 units. So into $3 per hour gives me the labor and variable overheads, 1486. Then material cost is $30 per unit into 140 units. Then total marketing cost is given as 250. So total cost is 5936. Per unit it is 42.4. See, 5936 per unit it is 42.4. The selling price is $45. So profit per unit will be 45 minus 42.4. Total profit will be 2.6 per unit into 140 units. 364. 364 is the profit. Or else you can do using y is equal to ax power b wala formula also. No problem. Absolutely no problem. See, 655.36. 655.36. That's what we got. Then they did not calculate average. 40.96 cumulative average time per unit. 40.96. Using the formula, without using the formula, same value. Is that clear, guys, everybody? That works only if the number of units are in the doubling table. Na. If they ask you for 130 units or 120 units, then you will need to do the y is equal to ax power b formula. Okay. Chalo, let's start the next chapter in our syllabus. One of the most important chapters in your syllabus. That is CVP analysis, chapter number 5. Okay. We have completed 1, 2, 3, 4, and 11. 5 chapters are completed. Now let's move on to the next one. Chapter number 5, cost, volume, profit analysis. So this is one of my favorite chapters. Marginal costing, we call it as marginal costing. So you guys are covering what topics in this? So break-even point, margin of safety, contribution to sales, multi-product situations, understanding the usage, target profit of revenue in a single and multi-product, demonstrating using the understandings, interpreting the break-even charts and PVC charts, interpreting the information containing within the chart, limitations of CVP analysis. Nice. We'll finish this topic today. Let's go. We still have 1 hour 15 minutes, so let's do this. Now, sir, what is the topic name? Cost, volume, and profit. 3 analysis we will do. Cost per unit analysis, how much volume we need to do that analysis, and what would be the profit in different scenarios. So CVP, we are going to talk about 3 different elements in this particular discussion. Cost, what is the total cost incurred for any given level of activity, how to calculate that and all that stuff. Volume, how many units should I produce to break even? Sir, what is break even? Break even is a point where you don't have any profits or losses. You are exactly at a zero profit, zero loss situation. You are able to just recover your cost. That is called as break even point. So how many units should I produce to break even at least? How many units should I produce to get a desired level of profits? Okay, that analysis we'll do in the volume analysis. Then coming to the profit part, what should I do to maximize my profit? How many units should I produce to get a given level of profits? All that analysis we are going to do in CVP marginal analysis. Now, first of all, how does CVP function, sir? It's very simple, ma. It's basic marginal costing. So what do we do in marginal costing, sir? We already completed these areas, right? Marginal, absorption, ABC, all the three. Then we did. Then we moved on to target costing. Then we did life cycle costing. Then we did environmental costing. All the types of costing techniques are done. So under marginal costing, what do? We start with sales price minus variable costs. This give me what? Chat section. Sales price minus variable cost will give me what? Contribution. Very good. So sales price minus variable cost will give me contribution. And from this, I will deduct the fixed cost. So we will get the profit. Okay. Sir, again, minus taxes and all will be there. We are not going to worry about taxes part. Let's not go into the details of that. So minus fixed cost will give me the profits. Okay, sir. Agreed. But we also need to understand that fixed cost is on the total basis, right? So sales price, variable cost, these are all on per unit basis. Contribution per unit I'll get, but fixed cost will be for the total units. So please understand, we will either divide fixed cost by number of units or else multiply contribution into number of units and then subtract the total fixed cost from that to get the total profit or total profit per unit. Correct? Okay, so this story is common story. We know this story since childhood. So let's do some values and understand without any formula. I'm not going to touch a single formula. Okay, I am not going to touch even a single formula, guys. You guys only will teach me how to do this particular topic. Without using a single formula, we are going to do CVP analysis. Okay, chalo. So I'm telling you, for a company, sales price, they are able to sell their product for $40. Variable cost per unit is say $15. So what is the contribution? $25. Okay, agreed. 40 minus 15, 25 is the contribution. Okay, sir, if this company is having a fixed cost of $50,000, fixed cost is $50,000. Now you guys need to tell me minimum how many units should this company produce to at least recover its fixed costs. How many units should the company produce to at least recover the fixed costs? $2,000. Sir, how did you get 2,000? 50,000 divided by 25. Correct? Okay. So first of all, what do we mean by contribution? What is it contributing towards? If I'm doing a donation, I'll say that I'm contributing towards that particular relief or that for that particular purpose. What is contribution in this particular case? See, contribution is nothing but it is contributing towards the recovery of fixed costs and earning profits for the company. Recovery of fixed cost and earning profits for the company. Okay. So basically, you told me that break even point, break even quantity can be calculated as 50,000 by 25. That is, can I say fixed costs divided by contribution per unit? Isn't that what you did just now? Yes or no, guys? Is that what you did, or did you do anything else? Yes. Okay. So break even point in units can be calculated by using the formula fixed cost by contribution per unit. Sir, I'm not teaching you formula. You guys only told me how you calculated it. I did not do anything, ma. Okay, I'm gonna ignore that. Chalo. Then let me slightly modify my question a little bit. If I'm asking you how many units the company should produce to get a profit of $20,000, required profit for the company is, okay, let's say $12,500. The company is saying that they want a minimum profit of 12,500. How many units should they produce? Sorry for that. 2,500 units, sir. Wrong answer. Oh, 12,500 now. Okay, chef. Okay, fine. I thought I gave you 25,000 or 20,000 or something. 2,500 units. How did you get that 2,500 units? Sir, if I produce 2,000 units, I'll get break even. And you're telling me that I need a profit of 12,500. Each unit is gonna give me 25. So 12,500 divided by 25, that is 500. So 2,000 plus 500, 2,500. Or else you can also do that by using simple logic. Required profit quantity can be calculated as your fixed cost plus required profit divided by contribution per unit. Is this what you guys did? I hope that is what you guys did. Yes. Okay, very good. That's it, Ma. You did the formula that are covered in this particular topic. Very good. Done with this. Okay. Now let's understand one more small important thing, that is your contribution margin. Contribution margin, sir. Now what is contribution margin? It's the percentage amount. Contribution per unit divided by sales price. That gives you the percentage. So in this case, what is the percentage? 25 by 40. Contribution percentage is how much? 62.5 percentage. Correct? 62.5 percentage. Okay. Now let me do some small calculation and tell you something here. So break even quantity is there now. Fixed cost by contribution per unit is there. Okay. The break even quantity is calculated as fixed cost by CPU, correct? Yes or no? Fixed cost by CPU. Okay. If I want break even sales in dollar amount, what will I do? Sir, this will give me number of units multiplied by the sales price. I'll get the dollar amount. Yes or no? Confirm in the chat section, guys. If I want to know the dollar break even sales in amount into sales price, if I do, I'll get it. Okay. Yes, sir. Got it. Okay. So fixed cost by CPU into sales price, I will take into SP. Okay. Sir, please understand, ma. Can I reformulate this as fixed cost divided by CPU by SP? Here multiplied, if I take it down, it will become by selling price. Na? So CPU by selling price is nothing but fixed cost by contribution margin percentage. Did you get the derivation of another formula directly? Break even dollar amount, if they are asking you and they did not give you margin percentages, then you can directly do using this particular formula, fixed cost by contribution margin percentage. You don't need to by heart anything at all, sir. No need to by heart anything at all. Everything is pure logical derivation only, nothing more than that. Okay, chalo. So with that, we are done with the formula that is covered. Now let me show you some very important and conceptual chart, ma. All this yesterday only I did for CMA US candidates, CMA US part 2 candidates. Okay, we were doing decision analysis, which is for 25% of the CMA exam. So if I'm taking the dollar amount on the y-axis and number of units on the x-axis, I know for a matter of fact that my fixed costs will be parallel to my x-axis. Yes or no? Please confirm, guys. Fixed costs. No matter how many number of units I'm selling, my fixed cost will remain the same, assuming no step costs. Correct? Okay. What about my variable cost per unit, sir? Sorry, not variable cost per unit. What about my total variable costs? Okay. At 0 units, my variable cost is 0. For 1 unit, variable cost will be there. For 2 units, variable cost will be there. 3 units, variable cost will be there. So technically speaking, my variable cost, not total variable cost, it will go as a diagonal to the x-axis now. Okay, this will be my variable cost line. More number of units you produce, more variable cost you incur. As simple as that, correct? Everybody understood this or not? Variable cost going diagonal to the x-axis. Yes, okay. Now what about the total cost? Total cost is nothing but variable cost plus fixed cost. So it starts from the total fixed cost and then grow parallel to the variable cost line, correct? Okay. Now, if I'm drawing the sales line as well on the same axis, na, assuming my sales line cannot have a defined structure as such, because what happens is up to a point your sales will grow diagonally, but then you start giving volume discounts and slowly it starts tinting towards the y-axis a little bit. First it starts going diagonally, but after a point you give discounts to the customers because of huge volume, economies of scale, so it slightly starts tinting. It goes something like this. Okay, it's not accurate, it does not necessarily go in the same manner. Sales curve can be slightly a curvish nature also. Okay, assuming that is the sales. Now for your kind information, guys, the point where the sales and the total cost intersect, that is called what? Break even point, BEP, correct? And if I draw a straight line to that from the break even point onto my x-axis, okay, if I take my break even point and draw a straight line onto my x-axis, then the point of intersection with the x-axis will become what? My break even number of units, right? This point on the x-axis is my BEP units, my break even number of units. And the same thing, if I slot it onto the y-axis, then what will I get? Can anybody say? The point of intersection on the y-axis, what is that? Break-even point, sales. Very good, ma. That is break-even sales. BEP sales in dollar amount. Very good. Okay. Now, let's understand some areas in this chart. So first area is this area, ma. This area is where your total sales are more than your total cost, or the point above the break-even point. This is where you will get profits. And this entire area is where your sales are less than your total costs. This area is your sales being less than your total cost. So this area is your loss making area on the graph, right? I wish this is paint, so I'll just tuck and it will be done. But this is notebook. So, okay, this entire area is my loss making area. This is my profit making area. This is the break even point. Okay. Chalo. Now, sir, do we need to draw these charts in the examination? Obviously, no. You're not required to draw any of these charts, ma. You will not be given pen and paper and asked to draw these charts. So don't worry. So then what do we need to learn in this particular area? All you need to learn is basically how to interpret that. How to interpret the charts and how to identify the points from the given chart. Okay, if they give you a chart and they ask you to identify the break-even point, you should be able to do that. That's all. Okay. Chalo. So break-even analysis, single point break-even, sales minus variable cost contribution minus fixed cost profit. So in order to break even, how many units we should produce? Break-even units, fixed cost by contribution per unit, level of activity for required profit plus fixed cost by contribution per unit, margin of safety yet to calculate, C by S ratio, contribution by sales, break-even point in sales revenue is fixed cost by C by S ratio, contribution margin percentage, basically. Required sales to get a desired profit, required profit plus fixed cost by CS ratio, C by S ratio or contribution margin. And then this chart also we have completed. Okay. Then next, what do we mean by margin of safety, sir? Margin of safety. As the name itself suggests, there is a margin that we keep for safety purpose. So margin of safety is nothing but how many units you are producing over and above the break-even points, ma. Actual sales minus break-even sales. How many units you are selling over and above the break-even point sales. Okay, actual sales units minus break-even sales units. If I express it as a percentage, MOS percentage, that would be actual units minus break-even units divided by actual units as a percentage, expressed as a percentage. Actual units minus break-even units divided by actual units when it is expressed as a percentage. As simple as that, nothing complicated involved in that. Sir, actual, if you know at the end of the period, you call it as actual. If you're doing at the beginning of the period, that will be budgeted. Actual or budgeted. If I'm doing at the beginning, then that will be budgeted. If I'm doing at the ending, that will be actual basis. Whatever it is in the question, they'll tell you, so don't need to worry about it. Okay. 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 Blah, 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 blah. All blah, blah, blah. Too much blah, blah, blah. Okay, look at this. Test your understanding 3. Solve it for yourself, ma. Take a minute and solve it for yourself. Our company provides a single service to its customer. Analysis of its budget for the year ended shows that in the period 3, when the budgeted activity was 6570 service units with a sales value of $72 each, margin of safety was 21.015%. Budgeted contribution to sales ratio of the service is 35%. Calculate the budgeted fixed costs. Nice. They did not give you any information, ma. They gave you round goal ghuma ke, they gave you too much of information. So from this, you are required to calculate the fixed costs. So unless you know the concepts, you will not be able to do it. So let's do this together. So what is the activity given? Budgeted activity is given as 6,000. Budgeted units is how much? 6570. Okay. What else did they give you? They told you that sales price is $72. They gave you MOS percentage, margin of safety percentage is 21.015. 21.015 percentage. Okay. Then they gave you C by S. C by S ratio is 35 percentage. Okay. Sir, we know sales price. Sales price is how much? 72. And we are already given the contribution. Contribution is 72 into 35 percentage. That means my variable cost is 72 minus 25.2, that is 46.8. Reverse calculation ma. Is that clear, guys? Did you understand how I got my variable cost and contribution? Per unit total. So total will be 72 into 6570. 46.8 into 6570. Contribution would be sales minus variable costs. So total contribution is given, and they gave me, they did not tell me break even directly. They gave me margin of safety. They gave me margin of safety. So I need to understand it in units. So 6570 into percentage 21.015. So margin of safety is 1380 units. Margin of safety units is 1380. So break even point units will be how much? 6570 minus 1380. So break even is 5189. Agreed? Okay. So break even units are 5189. Did you guys understand till there? Yes. Okay. So now we know that at the break even units, whatever contribution we get, that is the fixed cost, sir, because net profit should become 0. So for 5189 units, if I'm doing the total calculation, total contribution, then that should be my fixed cost. So BEP can be calculated as is equal to fixed cost by contribution per unit. That implies we can say fixed cost is equal to BEP into contribution per unit, correct? So that is 25.2 into 5189. So fixed cost is 130,771. I don't need this column actually, but that's fine, no problem. I can remove this column, that's not at all required only. 130,771. Can somebody check the answer? Test your understanding 3 answer. Oh my god, what nonsense. How much nonsense did they give? 130,763. 130,771. Fine, sir, no problem. I did it on Excel, so there is no rounding off. These people did it on normal calculation, so they do some rounding off numbers. See, this is 5,189 units, but what I took in Excel is 5,189.31. So if I round it off, then see, I get 130,763. 130,763. That's just rounding off issue, so you don't need to worry about that. Okay. Okay, assuming you guys understood this calculation, moving further. Okay, next, last and final topic in this particular discussion, that is multi-product CVP analysis. So from this, we understood how to do break-even point and all that stuff for a single product. But what if we are dealing with multiple products, sir? What if we are dealing with multiple products? So please understand, multiple products works on the basis of predetermined sales mixes. Sir, what? predetermined sales mix. Based on that only multi-product analysis is done. Or else there is a mix ratio, right? A is to B is to C. If you are having 3 products, how many units of A, how many units of B, how many units of C? There is a mixed proportion. So it works based on the assumption of mix proportions, predetermined sales mix. Okay. And assuming that the sales mix remains constant on the basis of the total sale value. Sir, at ACCA PM level, for ACCA PM level, always the predetermined mix is based on the total sales value. But if you see in advanced examinations, not in APM, APM does not have any numerical calculations. All these are not there in APM. But if you see CMA, CIMA, there they'll tell you that the mix is either in the basis of the sales value or on the basis of sales volume or on the basis of sales price. They'll tell you a different basis. But at ACCA PM level, the basis is always the total sales value. Sir, what are we trying to understand? Okay, don't worry, ma. We'll see with some numbers. You'll automatically get the logic. See, company A producing 2 products, product X and product Y. Okay, sir. Fixed costs amount to $200,000 every year. Sir, we know this for a fact that when you are having multiple products, your total fixed cost will be only for the total. Fixed costs are not for each unit. It will be for the total production. Following budgeted information is available for both the products, product X and product Y. They have given you sales price $50, $60, variable cost 30, 45, contribution per unit is 20, 15, budgeted sales in units is 20,000 and 10,000. Okay, sir, agreed. Then please understand from now on what we'll do is we'll calculate total contribution and total sales, not unit wise, total contribution for both the units, total sales for both the units. Then we'll get total contribution sales ratio, C by S ratio. And using that, if we calculate break-even point sales or the variable, your required profit sales, that is for the both the products X and Y. Then we split that into X and Y on the basis of their budgeted sales values. 20,000 into $50, 10,000 into $60. That is 1 million, and this is 600,000. So 10:6 ratio, we will split that totals to get the break-even points. Okay. See, look at this. Weighted average C by S ratio, total C by S ratio for both the units together we calculate, that is 34.375. By using this C by S ratio, if we calculate the break-even sales, fixed cost by weighted average C by S, so total break-even revenue is 581,819. Now this will be split in the ratio of 2:1. Budgeted sales units ratio or budgeted total sales ratio 10:6. Anything that you can do. They're telling you calculations only estimated information. 2x:1y. They are taking quantity mix as the proportionate in this particular example. That's fine. You can take total sales value also. Last time I remember, they usually split it on the basis of total sales value, not units. Did they change somehow? No, they did not change anything here, but they're doing it on the quantity basis. That's fine, no problem. Whatever basis, just splitting it after the calculating the break-even sales, total break-even sales. Okay, they're telling you standard mix. I guess they changed it. It's been a long time since I actually taught. It's been like 2-3 years, more than that maybe, but that's fine. They're telling you constant mix, whatever mix it is, they're telling you in the question. See, budgeted sales revenue for the next period is 125,000 in the standard mix. So in each question, they're telling you how the budgeted sales are being split. Okay, cool, no problem. Chalo. Shall we do this question by ourselves once? Which one? This question shall we do? Or do you want me to do another question, sir? Guys, please confirm. This one? Okay, chalo. We'll start with this one then. So first of all, let's take all the values onto our Excel. Product X and product Y. Sales price is 50-60. Variable cost is 30-45. Then contribution per unit will be 50 minus 30 and okay. Then budgeted units are given. Units budgeted are 20,000 and 10,000. Okay. Now let's calculate totals. Okay. So total contribution will be 20,000 into 20 and 10,000 into 15. So total, if I'm taking here, I'm not supposed to do it for per unit. So total contribution is 550 for total units of 30,000. So average, weighted average C by S. On an average, what is the contribution sales ratio, sales mix? So total contribution by total sales. Oh, I did not do total sales. Okay, let's do it here. Total sales will be 20,000 units into $50, and here it would be okay. So weighted average C by S would be total contribution divided by total sales. So that is 34.375%. Okay, that is your weighted average. Now we can calculate break even sales in dollar amount. Break even sales is calculated as total fixed cost. Where is the total fixed cost? They did not tell here. Okay. Total fixed costs given in the question is 200,000. That's a dollar amount, you dummy. Okay. Okay, 200,000 is the total fixed cost. When did it change to Indian rupee system, comma system? Okay, cool, no problem. It's still in rupee, comma system is still in rupees. Okay, so break-even sales would be fixed cost divided by C by S margin percentage. This is in dollar amount. So $581,818.18. This is the break-even sales. Now I need to split it into A and B. Sorry, product X and Y. X and Y. So how do I do that? I'll split it in the based on mix. What is the mix, sir? We already know not 20,000 and 10,000 mix. So based on that, I'll do it. 581 divided by 30,000 into 20,000. And for Y, it would be 581 into 10,000 divided by 30,000. So this is your break-even sales. Understood or not? Can we do it with sales mix ratio? You mean to say instead of taking 20,000 is to 10,000, you want to take 100,000, 1 million is to 600, 10 is to 6. Yes, you can do it, ma. You need to just mention in the note. You need to put a note point saying that assuming the sales mix is based on the total sales value, not total sales units, total sales value. So the question usually tells you what to do, in which mix you need to apportion that. But if the question is silent, then in that case, you can go ahead and do according to your requirement and put a note in the disclosures, no problem. ACCA does not penalize you for assumptions. If you take an assumption and accordingly, if you do the calculation, they won't cut your marks. So don't worry. Okay, so the same logic is applied for break-even point and the same logic for required profit, same logic for margin of sales and all that stuff, margin of safety. So it's the same thing. So with that, we'll wind up this chapter, guys. Okay, chapter number 5, we'll wind up now. We'll see you in the next chapter, guys. Bye-bye.